Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about the anatomy of a personal statement. Now, for those of you who are applying this cycle for matriculation in 2025, I do hope that you have already submitted your applications, your primary applications, both for AMCAS and AACOMAS. But if you have not, or if you're trying to get ready an early start for next year's application cycle for 2026 matriculation, I hope that this video is helpful to you. All right, so anatomy of a personal statement. So you're given 5,300 characters in order to answer the question, why do you want to attend medical school? Why do you want to become a doctor? Now, keep in mind, because this is a mistake a lot of students make, the question is not, what kind of doctor do you want to be? That's not the main crux of the question. The question is, why do you want to be a doctor? So you want to take the reader through your journey of how you figured out that medicine is right for you and how you continued to partake in experiences that kind of confirmed that belief for you. And that's the reason that you're sitting here today applying to medical school. The what kind of doctor, you can include a sentence or two in your conclusion, which we will talk about, because if you want to be a little bit more future oriented at the end of your essay, because based on all your experiences, you probably have learned what you care about. But the goal is not to say, I'm going to be an amazing doctor, I'm going to care about people the way no one cared about me. That's not the main crux. The question is literally, why do you want to be a doctor? And that's what you want to focus on answering. And 5,300 characters is what you're given for AACOMAS and AMCAS. And the question is, why do you want to be a doctor? So you don't really have to include a specific osteopathic approach in AACOMAS if you don't want to, because the question is literally, why do you want to be a doctor? It does not say, why do you want to be a DO? And this 5,300 characters will amount to about 1.5 pages. So we're going to have, just like we learned in elementary school, we're going to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, or conclusion. The way that you open your personal statement, it's going to be something Dr. Ryan Gray over at med school headquarters calls your seed. So this is the first seed that was planted in your mind that you want to be a doctor. Maybe it's a personal sickness or an injury in childhood. Maybe it's the health concern of a loved one. Maybe you just happened to stumble upon a medical emergency one day. Maybe you were forced to take biology class and learned that how much you want to learn about the human body, and then slowly started exploring medicine that way. No matter what it is, stay true to yourself. You don't have to have a dramatic seed the way you might be reading online. You don't have to have anything dramatic. Whatever it is, it's your story. So be proud and honest in your story and write the first time that you thought in your head, I want to be a doctor. And that's going to be your seed. And at the end of your first paragraph or the beginning, you might want to include a kind of a foreshadowing into what the rest of your essay is going to be about. So like the different methods that you use to explore medicine and kind of confirm that it's right for you. And then when we get into the middle or the body paragraphs, we're going to use one to three paragraphs exploring each of those aspects. So whether that is research experience, and remember, each one of these paragraphs is going to end with how that made you confirm you want to be a doctor. Research experience, clinical experience, volunteering experience. Or maybe you want to talk about 2 clinical experiences. Maybe research really didn't have anything to do with how you confirmed medicine is right for you. Maybe you want to talk about 3 clinical experiences. Maybe you want to talk about 2 clinical experiences, 1 volunteer experience. Maybe you want to do 1 clinical experience, 1 volunteer experience. Maybe you want to talk about an international experience. Whatever it is, it's you figuring out more about medicine and confirming for yourself why you want to be a doctor. And this is what Ryan Gray calls planting the seed. We're going to show our story, not tell. We're going to show our story of how we planted that seed that was first in our mind about that we wanted to become a doctor. We're going to plant that seed and talk about how we confirmed our interest in medicine and how each of our experiences just made us want to be a doctor more and more and more. I hope that's making sense so far. And one thing I would like to point out is that these words might sound familiar because this will be discussed in your activities section. So if you have more clinical experiences, maybe you can talk about something that you didn't have space to include on your activities section, or maybe you can discuss a different story, a different anecdote in the same experience that you talked about in your activities section. But you definitely don't want these body paragraphs to read like your activities section. It should not be reading like a resume. It should be reading like a story. And you'll get what that means once you start actually writing and looking through your own work. You'll see how where you slip into language that sounds like you're just reiterating your resume and your activities section. So this is what our middle is going to be. And at the end of each paragraph, you want to highlight once again how this made you want to become a doctor. And now we're going to reach our conclusion. We're going to recap everything we talked about. We're going to talk about a few aspects of medicine that really inspire us, that we aspire to work on or participate in as physicians. This is kind of what kind of doctor are you going to be? Like, how caring are you going to be for your patients? What are you going to focus on? You can include that in your conclusion. If you are interested in a particular specialty, it's kind of 50-50 on whether you should include it or not. But I don't think this is the place to particularly include a specialty of interest because people do change their minds. But if that one specialty is what drew you to medicine, then by all means, if it's a part of your story and you feel like it should be included, definitely include it. And look for a very strong closing sentence. Strong closing sentence which basically affirms one last time why you want to become a physician. And this, it's not a piece of literature, okay? It's not a piece of fiction. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just needs to be your story and it needs to be true to yourself. Remember, those admissions committees are reading thousands of these. They're reading thousands of these. We're probably just going to skim the beginning, middle, and end. But whatever parts they are skimming, you want to make sure that your whole entire essay is full of very valuable information and knowledge that kind of gives a glimpse into who you are as a person and why you want to be a physician. So I hope that was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section. Or if you want me to review your personal statement, just let me know. Thank you so much for watching.